Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Phrasal Verb Part 3. In this video we are going to learn phrasal verb with B alphabet. This is Muhammad Ismail and I welcome you all to English with Sir Muhammad Ismail. So let's begin our video. Back away. It means move back slowly in the face of danger. For example, the robbers backed away when they saw the furious dog. Back down. To take a less aggressive position in a conflict than one previously has or has planned to. Example, I was about to sue them but I had to back down. Back into. It means to rely upon another team's loss in order to advance to the postseason. Example, the 2006 St. Louis Cardinals back into the playoffs. Back off. To move backwards away from something. Example, I tried to back off slowly from the tiger in my path. Back onto. To reverse a vehicle onto something. The car backed onto my two. The car backed onto my two. Back out. Its description says to reverse a vehicle from a confined space. For example, he backed out of the garage. He backed out of the garage. Back off. To undo one's action. Example, I couldn't see how to finish the project, so I backed up and tried it another way. Beg out. To criticize someone. Example, I don't mean to beg you out, but that top is really not flattering on you. Or fluttering on you. Bail out. It means to rescue, especially financially. For example, once again the industry got itself in trouble and government had to bail it out. Balance out. To counteract one another so as to be balanced. For example, if you consider all the negative and all the positive factors, it should balance out to something acceptable. Ball up. To crush into a ball shape. For example, she balled up her paper in frustration. Bang away. To strike or hit repeatedly. Example, bang away on the drums. Bang away on the drums. Bang out. To do something quickly in a slipshod or unprofessional manner. For example, I have got this paper due tomorrow, but I think I can bang it out in one night. Bang out. It means to damage. Example, he banged off his new car last night. He banged off his new car last night. Bank on. It means to be sure of something, to depend on it, to have trust on it. Example, I'm banking on you being there. I don't have your expertise. Barge in. It means to intrude, to enter or interrupt suddenly and without invitation. For example, what makes you think you can just barge in and make demands of the CEO? Bark out. It means say petulantly. Example, she barked out the salesman. Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? Bash in. It means to break or dent badly by hitting violently. Example, we got home to find that someone had bashed in the door. Bash out. It means to write something very quickly without much thought. For example, I have got about an hour in which to bash something out for the morning edition. bash up. It means to assault someone with intention of causing physical injury. For example, he shouted at us, so we bashed him up. Bet around. It means to have at least 9 batters bat in a half inning. For example, 7 runs are in. They have betted around. Bet away. It means to knock an object, usually a ball. Example, the ball can still be batted away with one or both hands. It can be batted from a player's hands or batted away during a shot. Bawl out. To deliver a loud, harsh scolding or lecture. To reprimand. Example, after a mistake like that, there wasn't much to do besides bawl out the offender and clean up. Be after. It means a search for, want. It is a slang. Example, I am after the truth of this problem. Be against. It means be opposed to. Example, I am against buying everything they offer you. Be against. The description, be opposed to. It means be opposed to or to go against someone. Example, I am against buying everything they offer you. Be along. It means to arrive. Example, I expect John will be along soon. Be and for. It means to be able to expect or anticipate to be about to suffer, generally said of something unpleasant. Example, the weather forecast says we are in for 3 feet of snow over the next week. Be and on. It means to be a party to a secret shared by a small group of people. For example, he smiled a little to himself as he was in on the plan. Be off. To leave. It means to leave, to go. Example, I'll be off in a minute. Be on about. It means talk about, mean, intent. Example, I had no idea what on earth you were on about when you started using those scientific terms. I was totally confused. Be onto. It means to figure out, to realize the truth. Example, I was planning it as a surprise, but I think he is on to me. Be therefore. It means to be available to provide comfort and support for someone, especially in a period of difficulty. For example, she knows that I'll always be there for her. Bear away. It means to win. Example, our team bore away the championship. Bear down on. It means to approach someone in a very determined way. For example, I could see the headmaster bearing down on me and I looked hopelessly round for a means of escape. Bear on. It means to be really want to. For example, that ruling bears on our application. Bear out. It means to corroborate, prove, or confirm, to demonstrate, to provide evidence. For example, it was a promising idea, but the evidence did not bear out their theory. Bear with. It means to be patient with. Example, please bear with me a moment while I connect you to his office. Beat down. It means to strike with great force. For example, we had to leave the beach because the sun was really beating down. Beat off. It means to waste time. For example, I beat off at work all day. I didn't get anything done. Beat out. To sound a rhythm on a percussion instrument such as a drum. For example, the drummer beat out a steady slow march. Beat up. It means to give a severe beating to. For example, I got beaten up by thugs on my way home. Beaver away. It means to busily undertake a large task. For example, she won't be going out much as she is beavering away on her thesis. Bed down. To lie down somewhere, usually somewhere different from where you usually sleep in order to go to sleep. For example, I bedded down on the couch for the night. Bed in. It means to settle to make someone feel at home. Example, it took some time to be bedded in before he knew his way around his new workplace. Bed out. It means to move young or delicate plants from inside and plant from outside. For example, May is the time to bed out the geraniums. It is called geraniums. Beef off. It means to strengthen or reinforce, to aid substance to. For example, we need to beef up security around the airport. Beef off. Block out. It means to prevent from entering or penetrating. Example, high factor sun cream blocks out the sun's rays. Blot out. It means to obscure. To obscure. For example, the moon blotted out the sun and all was dark. Blow away. It means to cause to go away by blowing. Example, he blew away the dust which had collected on the book. He blew away the dust which had collected on the book. blow down. It means to knock over from wind. For example, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Blow off. It means to be displaced by wind. For example, the radioactivity was released when they blew off steam from the containment vessel. Blow out. It means to extinguish something, especially a flame. For example, he blew out the match. He blew out the match. Blow over. It means to blow on something, causing it to topple. For example, the wind blew over the pool. The wind blew over the pool or the pole. Blow off. It means to explode or be destroyed by explosion. For example, why do cars in movies always blow up when they fall? Blurt out. It means to say suddenly without thinking. For example, when in court, it is inadvisable to blurt out the first thing you think of. Instead, take time to construct coherent sentences. Boggin. It means to halt the progress of. For example, we got bogged in mud. We got bogged in mud. Boil down. It means to become reduced to the most central elements or ingredients, to the essence, core, or implication for action. For example, so what this boils down to is that you still owe me that $50. Boil off. It means to remove by boiling. For example, cooking it well, boil off the vodka. Cooking it well, boil off the vodka. Boil over. It means boil and flow over the sides of the container. For example, the milk boiled over and there was a horrible smell of burning. Horrible smell of burning. Boil off. It means to cook by boiling. For example, can you boil off the vegetables while I baste the meat? Boil down. It means to eat something very quickly. For example, Mary was late to meet her friend, but she was hungry. She bolted down some food and then left to meet her friend. Bookend. It means to reserve an appointment. For example, we can book you in after 3 o'clock. We can book you in after 3 o'clock. Boot off. It means to start using its bootstrap procedure. For example, it takes a couple of minutes for the computer to boot off. To boot off. Bolt out. It means to fail to perform a promised or planned action due to lack of courage. For example, I had really wanted to dive off the 10-meter platform, but in the end I bolted out. Bottle up. It means keep suppressed and hidden. For example, emotions are often bottled up rather than dealt with, which can lead to stress in later life. Bounce back. It means to recover from a negative without seemingly any damage. For example, we thought he would die from the crash, but he bounced back to normal after 10 days in the hospital. Bow out. It means to resign or leave with one's credibility still intact. For example, Jan had a long spell as chairman but pulled out after she had a child. Branch out. It means to expand in the manner of branches. For example, the chart starts in the center and branches out from there. Breakdown. It means to fail. For example, I am afraid my computer will break down if I try to run it at too high a speed. break even. It means to neither gain nor lose money. For example, after an entire night playing poker, he nearly broke even. Break in. It means to enter a place by force or illicit means. For example, someone broke in and stole his radio. Stole his radio. Break into. It means to enter illegally or by force, especially in order to commit a crime. For example, somebody broke into his car and stole his tools and break out. It means to escape, especially forcefully or defiantly. For example, they broke out of prison in the middle of the night. Break off. It means to break or separate into pieces, to disintegrate or come apart. For example, it broke up when it hit the ground. Break up. It means to block by masonry, particularly using bricks. For example, I'm going to break up the window instead of replacing the glass. Bring about. It means to cause to take place. For example, the collapse of the gold standard brought about much of the economic turmoil of that era. Bring back. It means to fetch something. For example, I brought back the groceries. I brought back the groceries. Bring back. It means to return. For example, she brought back her 4 library books. She brought back her 4 library books. Bring down. It means to make a legitimate rulership lose their position of power. For example, the rebel forces are trying to bring down the president and his government. Bring forth. It means to produce beer is fruit. For example, their orchard brings forth magnificent fruit. Bring forward. It means to make something happen earlier than originally planned. For example, the meeting has been brought forward one day. Bring off. It means to succeed in doing something considered to be very difficult. For example, I don't know how, but he managed to bring off the Acme Foods deal. Bring on. It means to cause. It means to cause. For example, excessive drinking can bring on depression. Bring out. It means to elicit, evoke, or emphasize a particular quality. For example, the herbs really bring out the full flavor of the lamb. Bring ground. It means to bring something when coming. For example, can you bring round some beer when you come tonight? Bring up. It means used other than as an idiom to bring from a lower position to a higher position. For example, when you are in the basement, can you bring up the pen? Bring up. It means a reduction in illumination caused by a voltage reduction in an electrical power supply. For example, the utility announced that there would be more brownouts during summer thunderstorms. Brush someone off. For example, to ignore someone or refuse to listen to someone, to dismiss someone in an abrupt way. For example, when I try to ask my boss for a raise, she brushes me off. Brush aside. It means to disregard, dismiss, or ignore something as unimportant. For example, he brushed aside all my objection and he went ahead with the project regardless. Brush by. It means to walk past another person, touching them slightly, normally by accident, and ignoring them. For example, the production manager brushed by me on the stair. He seemed to be in a real hurry. Brush down. It means to straighten off one's clothes and to tidy up one's appearance. For example, after tripping over, he picked himself up, brushed himself down, and carried on walking. Brush up. It means to review to improve an existing but rusty or underdeveloped skill. For example, I'll need to brush up on my Greek before my trip to Athens. Bubble over. It means to be very enthusiastic or highly excited. For example, she was bubbling over with laughter as she ran into the room. Buck off. It means to cause to fall off. For example, the cowboy was bucked off the bronco after 7 seconds. Buckle down. It means to put forth the needed effort, to focus, become serious, apply oneself, for example, to work or study. For example, if he would buckle down into his homework, he could be an excellent student. Buckle up. It means to fasten one's seat belt or safety belt. For example, buckle off every time you drive somewhere in a car, and make sure your passengers buckle off too. Bug out. It means to leave a place hastily, readily, military. For example, it's time I bugged out of this town. It ain't safe no more. Bugger up. It means to break or spoil something or make an inoperative, useless, etc. For example, I have buggered up the Soroko somehow and can't build up. It means to accumulate, to pile up, to increase in states. For example, ever since the secretary left, the letters in my inbox have started to build up. Bump into. It means to collide with. For example, he bumped into the wall. I guess that's a risk you take when you read while walking. Bung off. It means to close an opening with a cork-like object or other improvised obstruction. For example, he used a piece of putty to temporarily bung off the leaking gutter. Burn down. It means to cause a structure to burn to nothing. For example, the police are hoping to find the people who burned down the cottage. Burn out. It means to extinguish due to lack of fuel. For example, the candle finally burned out. Burned out. Burn off. It means to catch fire and burn until destroyed. For example, the rocket may burn off on re-entry. Burst out. It means to escape from. For example, burst out of prison. Burst out of prison. Bustle with. It means to team with, abound with, to exhibit an energetic and active abundance of a thing, of a place, to be full of a certain activity or active beings. For example, each day the small street bustles with tourists. Butt in. It means to join a conversation or situation in which one is not welcome or invited to interject. For example, hey, this is none of your business, don't butt in. Butter off. It means to flutter, especially with the intent of personal gain. For example, he takes every opportunity to butter up the boss. Button off. It means to fasten with a buttons. Example, button up your shirt cuff. It has come undone. Buy into. It means believe, accept, acquiesce, or fate for valid. For example, I don't buy into all this propaganda. Buy up. It means to buy the whole of, the totality of something. For example, the marshland was bought off by a housing company. Box in. It means prevent something from moving, especially vehicles. For example, I was boxed in by the bus and couldn't change my lane. Box up. It means pack things in boxes to move them. For example, at the end of term, I boxed my books off and sent them home. Brace up. It means feel more confident and optimistic about something. For example, you should brace up and stop worrying. Breakthrough. It means pass a barrier or obstacle. For example, the crowd broke through the police barriers and attacked the hunters. Breeze along. It means move easily and quickly. For example, the film breezes along for the first hour, then becomes rather dull and slow. Breeze in. It means enter a place quickly. For example, he breezed in and started shouting at us. Breeze through. It means pass easily and succeed. For examples, she breezed through her exams. Brighten up. Definition: improve in weather. Example: the day started cloudy but brightened up in the afternoon. Brush off. Definition: ignore, pay little attention. Example: the minister brushed off the criticism. Buck up. Definition: hurry. Example: buck off, the taxi is waiting. Budge up. Definition: move to make space for someone. Example: we had to budge up to let the fourth person back off the car. Buff up. It means clear, clean, or make something shine. Example: the silver candlestick looked lovely after I buffed it up. Buff up on. It means improve your knowledge quickly. Example: I buffed up my grammar before my test. Bug off. It means go away. Its definition is go away. Example: I told her to bug off because she was annoying me. Bug out. Its definition is open your eyes wide in surprise. Example: she bugged out when she turned up. Bump off. It means kill. Its definition is kill. Example: the drug dealer was bumped off by a rival gang. Bump up. It means its definition is increase. Example: they bumped up the prices in the high season. Bundle off. Its definition is send someone somewhere. It means send someone somewhere. For example, he bundled the kids off to bed. Bundle out. It means expel. Example, the barman bundled the drunk out because he was annoying other customers. Bundle up. It means put on warm clothing. Example, we bundle up before going out as it was snowing. Bunk off. It means not go to school when you should. Example, I used to bunk off school and go into town. Buoy up. It means make someone feel more positive. Example, after so much criticism, the positive review buoyed him up. Burn down. It means burn completely. Example, they had to completely rebuild the museum after the old one burned down. Burn off. It means remove by burning or similar process. Example, I burn off a lot of calories in the gym. Buy out. It means buy someone's share in a company. Example, his business partners bought him out to get rid of him. Buy off. It means buy all of something. Example, we bought up all the shop ahead before the price went up. Buzz around. It means move quickly around place. Example, reporters were buzzing around the scene of the accident. Buzz off. It means go away. It is imperative. Example, they told them to buzz off because they were annoying him. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel English with Sir Ismail.